Did you know that light and sound both travel in waves? That means that without waves, you couldn't see this cuddly kitten. The world would be totally dark. And if there were no sound waves, you would never hear music. Even if you were right there while it was being played, it would just be silence. So it's pretty clear that waves are important to our lives. The first thing to know about waves in our world is that waves carry energy. So what is energy? Well, think of it this way. Energy is the ability to move things. Makes sense, right? When you have a lot of energy, you can really move, like this runner. But when you have no energy, it feels like you can't move at all. What has that got to do with waves? Well, for one thing, energy is a part of everything we see and hear. Light is energy, sound is energy. And for energy to get from one place to another, it's got to move. Well, energy moves, or travels, in waves. If you've ever stood in the ocean at the beach, you've felt the energy from the waves as they crash into you. Waves start when things move back and forth, or up and down. This is called a vibration. Like my friend Billy here jumping on this trampoline, he moves up and down, up and down. I guess you could say he's like a human vibration. When a vibration happens, it starts a wave. Check out my friend Bristol and this rope. When there is no vibration, we say the rope is at rest. But watch what happens when Bristol makes a vibration on one end of the rope. When he moves it back and forth, it creates waves. The energy from Bristol's hand is moving through the rope from one end to the other. Remember, waves carry energy from one place to another. This is a fellow I like to call Chris the Cannonball. He's a champion diver who's going to demonstrate another way that vibrations make waves. Right now the water is very still. It's at rest. Okay, here we go. When Chris jumps, he falls toward the water very fast. He has a lot of energy. When he hits the water, it makes a big vibration, and the energy moves through the water in waves that we can see. The bigger the vibration, the bigger the waves. When Chris hit the water in the pool, he had a lot of energy, so the waves he made were pretty big. But if I whack this golf ball and it drops into the water, it has a lot less energy, so the waves are much smaller. But the idea is the same. The energy from the ball makes a vibration in the water, and that makes waves. The waves carry the energy through the water. You may have noticed that when we talk about waves, we usually say that they are moving through something, like the wave is moving through the rope, or through the water. It's important to know that whatever a wave is moving through is called a medium. You should also know that there are lots of different kinds of mediums, besides ropes and water. Almost anything can be a medium for waves, like water, the ground, or a rope. One very important medium that affects us every day is air. That's right, air is a medium that waves can move through. Remember we talked about light waves? Well, light waves travel through the air to our eyes. That's how we can see light. And sound waves move through air too. They start with a vibration from something like a cow. And then sound energy travels through the air to our ears. Here's something you may already know. There is no air in space. But what does that have to do with waves? Remember we said that light waves and sound waves both move through the air? Well, one big difference between light waves and sound waves is that light waves do not need a medium to travel, but sound waves do. That's why the light from the sun and stars can travel all the way to Earth. But sound? Forget it. There's nothing, no medium in space for sound waves to move through. So, there's no sound in space. Okay, we've talked about a lot of important stuff. Let's do a quick review. Waves carry energy from place to place. Some waves we can see, others are invisible. There are all kinds of waves that affect us every day. Light waves, sound waves, TV and radio waves, microwaves, and lots more. Waves start with vibrations, movement back and forth or up and down. Waves move energy through all kinds of things, like a rope, or water, or air. The rope, air, water, or whatever is called a medium. Light waves can move through space, but sound waves cannot. Waves can move in different ways. A lot of the waves we're used to seeing move up and down, over and over again. That's what I'm drawing in the sand, a wave that moves up and down as the energy travels. It looks kind of like a roller coaster. Okay, that's one way that a wave can move, up and down. But a wave can also move another way, back and forth. This means that instead of having high points and low points, the wave squeezes together and pulls apart as it moves, kind of like a bunch of tiny squeeze boxes. Did you know that you can make both kinds of waves yourself? Let's find out how. Remember, we said that some waves move up and down as they travel, and others move back and forth. You can make both these waves. All you need are a couple of partners, one of those silly spring toys, and a nice flat surface. First, let's see how a wave moves up and down. Have one person hold both ends of the spring toy and move them up and down over and over again. See how the spring moves up and down too? Now, let's make a wave down on the floor. Stretch the spring toy between two of you. The other person can be the note taker. Have one person swing their end of the spring back and forth again and again. As you look down from above, you can see the waves moving through the spring, from one end to the other. There are high points and low points. Try it at different speeds. See if you can change the shape of the waves. The note taker can try to draw the different waves that are made. Now, let's make the other kind of wave, the one that moves by squeezing together. Have one person hold one end of the spring still, while the person on the other end pulls it, squeezing it tight at just that end. Now let go of the squeezed part, but hold on to the end. Try it a bunch of times and watch how the spring squeezes together as the energy moves from end to end. This movement is very different from the up and down wave. This wave moves back and forth, squeezing and bouncing back all along the wave. Congratulations! You just demonstrated two different ways that waves can move.